ഒരു അമേസിങ് ആ ഒരു ഡാറ്റ പറഞ്ഞല്ലോ 1975-ലും 2020-ലും അല്ലേ ടാൻജിബിൾ ആൻഡ് ഇൻടാൻജിബിൾ ഒരു ഹ്യൂജ് വേരിയേഷനാണ്. ഒരു 10% അല്ലെങ്കിൽ 20% മാത്രമല്ല. 1975-ൽ 85% ടാൻജിബിൾ അസറ്റായിരുന്നു ഓരോ കമ്പനിക്കും ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നെങ്കിൽ 2020ഓടുകൂടി ഓരോ കമ്പനിക്കല്ല ടോട്ടൽ വാല്യൂ റൈറ്റ് 2020-ലെത്തുമ്പോൾ 90% ടോട്ടൽ വാല്യൂ അസറ്റ് വാല്യൂ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് ഇൻടാൻജിബിൾ ആണ്. ദാറ്റ് ഇസ് ദ ചേഞ്ച് ആർട്ടിഫിഷ്യൽ ഇൻ്റലിജൻസ്. ഒരു കാര്യം കൂടി 20 മിനിറ്റാണ് അദ്ദേഹത്തിന് അനുവദിച്ചത്. കറക്റ്റ് 19 മിനിറ്റിൽ അദ്ദേഹം ആ ഒരു പ്രസൻറ്റേഷൻ പൂർത്തിയാക്കി. കൺഗ്രാറ്റുലേഷൻ. എനിക്ക് ഓർമ്മ വന്നത് ഗുരു ഫിലിമിൽ അമിതാഭ് ബച്ചൻ ഒരു 5 മിനിറ്റ് അനുവദിക്കുന്നുണ്ട് ജഡ്ജസിൻ്റെ മുന്നിൽ പ്രസൻറ്റ് ചെയ്യാൻ വേണ്ടിയിട്ട്. കറക്റ്റ് 4 മിനിറ്റും 30 സെക്കൻഡിലും അദ്ദേഹം അത് നിർത്തുന്നു. എന്നിട്ട് പറയുന്നു ബാക്കി 30 മിനിറ്റാണ് ഒരു ബിസിനസ്സുകാരൻ്റെ ലാഭം. ആ ഒരു കാൽക്കുലേഷനാണ് നിങ്ങളിവിടെ കാണിത്തുന്നത്. വൺസ് അഗൈൻ കൺഗ്രാറ്റുലേഷൻ ആൻഡ് താങ്ക് യു. അടുത്തത് ഇപ്പോൾ ബിസിനസ്സിൻ്റെ ഒരു തുടക്കം ആ ഒരു ജേണി ബഹുമാനപ്പെട്ട ഷിഹാബ് തങ്ങൾ ഫ്രം TCA കമ്പനി. വൺ മോർ പോയിന്റ്, ഇവിടെ പ്രസൻറ്റ് ചെയ്യുന്ന സ്പീക്കേഴ്സിൻ്റെ കോൺടാക്റ്റ് ഡീറ്റെയിൽസ് ആവശ്യമുള്ളവർ ഈ ഒരു ടീമുമായി ബന്ധപ്പെടാം. എനി ടൈം എനി വൺ. അവരുടെ കോൺടാക്ട് ഡീറ്റെയിൽസ് അവരുടെ ഇമെയിൽ ID നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ഈ ഒരു ടീമുമായി ആരുമായി ബന്ധപ്പെടാവുന്നതാണ് എനി ടൈം. അപ്പോൾ ഒരു ബിസിനസ് തുടങ്ങിക്കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ അടുത്ത വേണ്ട ഒരു ഘടകമാണ് അക്കൗണ്ടിങ് എന്നുള്ളത്. എൻ്റെ അമ്മോഷൻ 1990 മുതൽ അൽറാസിൽ ഇലക്ട്രോണിക്സ് ഹോൾസെയിൽ ബിസിനസ് നടത്തുന്ന ഒരു വ്യക്തിയാണ്. അദ്ദേഹത്തിന് മലയാളം മാത്രമേ അറിയൂ. അതും ഞാൻ കാസർഗോഡ് സ്വദേശിയാണ്. കാസർഗോഡ് മലയാളം മാത്രമേ അറിയുള്ളൂ. അവിടെ വരുന്ന കസ്റ്റമേഴ്സ് ആഫ്രിക്കൻസ് ആണ്. വെറും കാൽക്കുലേറ്റർ ഉപയോഗിച്ചാണ് ഇദ്ദേഹം എമൗണ്ട് പറയും. അത് അയാളെ നോക്കി ആഫ്രിക്കൻ ഭാഷയിൽ വേറൊരു എമൗണ്ട് അടിക്കും. അവസാനം ഓരോ ഇൻവോയ്സുകളും 50,000-ൻ്റെയും 1,00,000-ൻ്റെയും ഇൻവോയ്സുകളാണ് വെറും കാൽക്കുലേറ്റർ വഴി അവർ ഡീൽ ചെയ്യുന്നുള്ളത്. ഭാഷ എന്നുള്ളത് ഒരു വിഷയമേ അല്ല. അദ്ദേഹത്തെ സംബന്ധിച്ചിടത്തോളം അക്കൗണ്ടിങ് എന്നുള്ളത് ഒരു തുണ്ട് പേപ്പർ മാത്രമാണ്. പക്ഷേ അദ്ദേഹം നാട്ടിൽ നിന്ന് അടുത്തൊരു ജനറേഷൻ അദ്ദേഹത്തിൻ്റെ മകനെ ദുബായിലേക്ക് ടേക്ക് ഓവർ ചെയ്യാൻ വേണ്ടി പ്രിപ്പയർ ചെയ്യുന്ന സമയത്ത് അദ്ദേഹം മനസ്സിലാക്കിയ ഒരു കാര്യമാണ് അക്കൗണ്ടിങ് മസ്റ്റ് ബി പ്രോപ്പർ. അങ്ങനെ ചെന്നപ്പോൾ പലരും ഇവിടെ എത്തിയ ബിസിനസ്സുമായോ അല്ലെങ്കിൽ അക്കൗണ്ടിങ് ഫീൽഡുമായോ ഫിനാൻസുമായോ ഇവിടെ എത്തിയ ഓരോരാളും പഠിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ടാകുന്ന ഒരു സോഫ്റ്റ്വെയർ ആണ് ടാലി. എത്ര പേര് അത് പഠിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്? മോസ്റ്റ് ഓഫ് ദി പീപ്പിൾ റൈറ്റ്. അപ്പോൾ ടാലി ഞാൻ പഠിച്ചിട്ടുണ്ട്. ദുബായിൽ എത്തിക്കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ അക്കൗണ്ടിങ് ജോബിന് സപ്പോർട്ട് ചെയ്യാൻ വേണ്ടി ടാലി പഠിക്കണം. അങ്ങനെ പക്ഷേ 2000-ൻ്റെ കാലഘട്ടത്തിലുണ്ടായ ടാലി മാറി ഒരുപാട് മാറ്റങ്ങളുമായാണ് ഇന്ന് ടാലി നമ്മുടെ മുന്നിലുള്ളത്. അപ്പോൾ നമ്മുടെ സിസ്റ്റം ഒരു ചെറിയൊരു ബിസിനസ് മുതൽ വലിയൊരു സ്ഥാപനത്തിന് വരെ അക്കൗണ്ടിങ് എങ്ങനെ പ്രോപ്പറായി ബുക്ക് കീപ്പിംഗ് നടത്താം. പഴയ പോലെ ഓരോ അക്കൗണ്ട്സും ഓരോ ലെഡ്ജറും ഓരോ പുസ്തകത്തിലും എഴുതേണ്ട കാര്യമൊന്നും ഇപ്പോൾ ഇല്ലല്ലോ അല്ലേ. വെറുതെ ഒരു എൻട്രി കൊടുത്താൽ തന്നെ അടുത്തൊരു ബട്ടൺ ക്ലിക്ക് ചെയ്താൽ കറക്റ്റ് ബാലൻസ് ഷീറ്റ്, പ്രോഫിറ്റ് ആൻഡ് ലോസ്, എവറിത്തിങ് വിൽ ബി ഇൻ ഫ്രണ്ട് ഓഫ് അവർ സ്ക്രീൻ. അപ്പോൾ അതാണ് ടാലി പോലെയുള്ള സോഫ്റ്റ്വെയറുകൾ നമുക്ക് തന്ന സൗകര്യം. അതിനെക്കുറിച്ച് അതിൻ്റെ മാറ്റങ്ങൾ അത് എങ്ങനെ നമ്മുടെ ബിസിനസ്സിൽ പ്രയോജനപ്പെടുത്താം എന്നതിനെക്കുറിച്ച് ടാലി സൊല്യൂഷൻ നമുക്ക് ഇന്നിവിടെ ഒരു പ്രസൻറ്റേഷൻ അവതരിപ്പിക്കുന്നത് ടാലി സൊല്യൂഷൻ്റെ കൺട്രി മാനേജർ മിസ്റ്റർ നന്ദരാജ് ഷെട്ടിയാണ്. എക്സ്ക്ലൂസീവായി ഒരു ടാലി സോഫ്റ്റ്വെയർ നമുക്ക് എങ്ങനെയൊക്കെ നമ്മുടെ ബിസിനസ്സിൽ പ്രയോജനപ്പെടുത്താം എന്നതിനെ സംബന്ധിച്ച് ഡീറ്റെയിൽഡ് ഫോർ ദ പ്രസൻറ്റേഷൻ. പ്ലീസ് ജോയിൻ മീ ടു വെൽക്കം മിസ്റ്റർ Nandaraja Shetty.
Good evening. I think half of the presentation already he covered, and just to say, I feel like an odd out here because a lot Malayalis, right? I can understand Malayalam very well, but I can speak little bit, so I'll stick to English. So excuse me for that first of all. And before me, CS Shihab already set a ground for me to take my presentation. So he mentioned about business reporting, construct your business numbers, as well as he mentioned about compliance. So here we are. I'm not going to give a presentation. Don't worry about that. I'll keep it very short. Everyone knows, I think a lot of hands gone up when he asked about who knows about Tally or learned about Tally. So a lot of hands gone up. So thanks to that. As a brand, yes. As a product, most of you know. But as a company, there is a confusion like, are you a Indian company? There are many of people ask here. So definitely we are a Indian company based out of Bangalore, operating across India through regional offices, and we have almost 7 international offices through direct presence. However, through partners, we are present in most of African, East, West, as well as Far East, plus Middle East. We have very strong presence, and we have present in SAARC, most of the SAARC countries as well. So at this moment, we have almost reaching 2.2 million customers with all your support. We are heading towards almost 3 million customers shortly. That is our next milestone which you are looking for. Now, Tally, everyone knows about it, right? In 2018, when VAT introduced, that was a time where everyone was thinking of what to do, which system to use, or let's say how to start with, how to generate a tax invoice. It was, I think, 29th or 30th of December. Everyone was thinking, okay, it will get postponed. But on 1st of Jan, so there was a lot of confusion on how to generate a tax invoice. Forget about the other reporting, everything. So whether the tax has to be charged before the discount, after the discount, or let's say there was a confusion on inclusive tax invoice, although there are many challenges actually with businesses. Now, with our experience in India, so we have, let's say, from 2005, VAT has been integrated. Then let's say in 2017 or 16, GST was there. GST is something which is very complex when comparing to VAT here. So with that experience, what we wanted to come out, well, basically, we wanted to give everything to the business. However, we want to absorb the complexity of the entire process and give things in a very simple manner. Let's say to generate a tax invoice, or let's say you want to have, let's say, advance VAT transactions, or something called as VAT return filing, or let's say going forward, there is something called as VAT file, let's say audit file. I think most of you, I don't know whether you know about audit file. In case FTA wants to audit your books of account, they can extract, or let's say you can give this audit file, they can do it in a very simple manner. It's basically in a simple language. So we have given entire process in Tally with the same product, existing product which we given an upgrade, or let's say the new release has come. So most of the businesses who gone live with Tally without any issues on 1st of January. There was a big milestone for us in this particular country. Now, when we built this particular module, we have taken a mechanism called PDC, that is called prevent or detect and correct. Okay, so I'll explain that in a little later. What is basically that? Now, when we designed a compliance in Tally, because from before 2018 there was no compliance requirement as such. There was a customs duty, but after 2018 only we have VAT and AML, and let's say ESR came up. Now going forward corporate tax, and maybe something more in future. So basically for the users, it has to be a very simple, but at the same time it has to be very accurate. That was one of the mechanisms what we built in. At the same time, for the users, the system should be easy to configure. That means you don't need much of training or someone's help to configure the system. So that is what we have taken care. And also, as a company, I'll give an example. Let's say in Bahrain, when they introduced Tally, there were many softwares came, 100 BD, they installed, tax invoice generated. After 1 year, the system is not working, and let's say the tax invoice also stopped. But as a Tally, we have, let's say, 36 years of legacy in this market. We always adhere to changes. Let's say here, from 2018, no changes has happened as such in VAT, but we may expect, like, let's say, give an example of Saudi. It was 15%, they rolled back to 10% with the change of e-invoicing. So e-invoicing is not a simple change, it is a major technical changes in the system. So here, as of now, there is nothing. However, we are well prepared for any changes which comes, let's say, from the system or from the authority. We are here to adhere to that. So this is just simple an example. If any of you using Tally, so what we wanted to do is, you have a sales and purchase. There is a basic things which is in the business, right? So balance, after that you have receipt payment, that is subsequent transactions. Now when you have sales and purchase, there are multiple categories depending on the businesses. You may be a local simple businesses, or you may be export import companies. So we wanted to give every types of transaction and options. That is what we have come up with in categorization of transactions. Then let's say there's one more thing came up in 2018 was reverse charge. So reverse charge was basically something which a simple man can understand by reading it, but nobody knew how to handle it. So reverse charge is basically for, especially for the import export, and everyone was thinking reverse charge, but how to handle it, nobody was knowing it. So with the experience of GST, again, we handled it very simple manner with a single transactions. It will hit or your input and output transaction, it will net off. That's how we came up with. Now this is one of the thing which we built in, like I was talking to PDC, right? Prevent, detect and correct. Now for an user, you can't expect him to be thorough in all the articles of your law, let's say going for even corporate tax. You can't have all the articles to be remembered by him. So what we do is basically we take care of certain measures to control certain errors in the first place, so that your reports will be accurate going forward. All his returns would be accurate going forward. The first measure is prevent. So we have certain configurations in place. Based on that, the system will stop the error. Now let's say user is doing some mistakes. He has selected 5% product, but he has not selected the tax ledger. Though tax will not calculate, right, in the first place. But the system will tell you, look, here there is error, you can correct it. Now let's say if a user is not going to correct, system will allow him to bypass, because system will not stop. Because the system stops means then again you will stuck, right? So it will allow you to bypass, but later it will give you one more report where it will detect all the errors, and it will pull into one more report called, that is where we call triangulation report. So in Tally, what will happen is all the transactions which are related to your tax, so it will triangulate in one place, then it will bring this report. If you see the first screen, so the orange mark, what it is showing is there are 13 transactions which have some issues. You need to correct it, or you need to go and look into it. So the second, you can see when you drill down, it will allow you to further, let's say, take actions. Now one is the example which I given you, tax is not selected. The second could be let's say the category changed. The third could be, let's say, the partial claim or ITC, you have claimed partial, maybe the assessable value is not correct. So there are many, 5-6 things normally happens. Now Tally gives an option, either you can accept as it is if you are confident, or if you want to resolve it, there itself with the click of a button you can resolve it. Or going forward, let's say you don't want to resolve it, because what happens, this is backdated, right? You may be correcting it maybe a third month before the VAT return filing, or you may be correcting it every week or fortnight. That's again up to a business process. Now the corrections, when you do a corrections, you have options to do that. Now again, stressing on backdated transaction, when you touch upon the backdated transaction, there are some, let's say, side effects will be there in your books of accounts. You need to take care of that as well. Now if you see this, there are two returns. The left one basically is before rectifying the transaction which I mentioned. The right one is basically after rectifications. Now user will make sure you will correct this transaction, because that transaction which is shown with the error, that will not be part of your return unless you correct it. There are 15-20 transactions. If you are not correcting it, so that amount will not become part of your return. So you need to make sure it's corrected on time, and you have to submit the VAT return. Now let's say once this is done, so we have kept very simple process of exporting this into exporting this into PDF. Now once you see, as of now we don't have an integration with, let's say, Imarat or portal, or let's say FTA portal. Going forward, let's say if they come up with an integration, definitely this will be directly pushed into the system. As of now it is completely manual. Export it, then you will see this particular report. These figures will be replicated into the VAT forms which is available online. So this is how we handle VAT in Tally. From 2018 there is no much changes happened, so we have retained that. Now here I want to just pause a little bit about corporate tax. Now he already mentioned about corporate tax is going to be soon, maybe June, or for some of you maybe applicable from Jan or maybe April based on your financial years. Now, in Tally, as of now, the corporate tax can be handled with the existing product. You may not need major changes to be done unless your, let's say, you say accounting tree, right? Or let's say chart of account. If you redesign, you can do it yourself. Now, they call some EBITDA something they call. That is one of the words they use normally for. Thank you. They use EBITDA. That's basically to arrive at a taxable profit. Now, Tally gives you business profit. Now, plus you may have to do some kind of adjustments on, let's say, direct remunerations and plus other expenses. Then you will come up with your taxable profit. Now, what we are doing is further to simplify it. Now, as I shown you in VAT, we try to avoid a lot of errors. Likewise, let's say in corporate tax also, we want to bring in certain mechanisms. For example, let's say there are limitations of expenses to be claimed. Let's say we want to put a cutoff to that. Or let's say we want to bring a VAT, or let's say the taxable form, or let's say a calculation like this in VAT. So we are working on that. So we may come up with something. But as such, as of now, what I'm telling is the current product is capable of handling 100% requirement of the corporate tax. Now, I would like to call Rashid for a couple of minutes here. That is our primary gold partner for Tally. So, Wahat Al-Bustan is one of our gold partner, and he manages a line of business which takes care of, let's say, our sales, support, and customization of Tally. Now, Rashid is there with us for almost 20 years, but as a partner with us, he is there with us for last 10 years, having a dedicated, skilled team of sales, support, skilled team of sales, pre-sales, support, customizations, and he's having again a back office in India as well. So he's a full-fledged Tally partner for us from last 10 years. Now this is some of the rewards or awards what he received last couple of years. The last one what he received is particular top partner in UAE. That was in last May. Okay. Now this is the speciality of Wahat Al-Bustan. As I mentioned, Tally is a straight fit for small and medium companies. However, certain companies, they may need a kind of process to be automated. For example, let's say manufacturing. So manufacturing, Tally is straight fit in terms of financials. But when it comes to process, let's say bill of material or any kind of batch process you want to do. Yeah, we need a kind of changes to be done. So likewise, interior design, where you need profitability of project wise, or let's say if you go into transportation, you may need a fleet management, details of each fleet. So all these customized modules which he has provided as a Wahat Al-Bustan. Going forward, this is where his major customers are spread across. So UAE is again a trading hub, we all know. So Tally is a straight fit to trading companies. However, he's having companies, or let's say these are all the companies or segments wherein he is having customers. Now, someone mentioned rightly like we are here to help each other. Likewise, please help us to help you. So we are right behind this hall. You can just drop your cards or connect with us. Also, you can just take our details over here, so which has email IDs as well as the phone numbers. Now, I want to close this session with a couple of words from in Malayalam.
Thank you, Nandaraj. Good evening, everyone. So, I think the product explanation and the company introduction already done by Nandaraj. Thank you for that. So, this quite a long journey we have been with the Tally. So, our team is capable to handle customization, implementation, all this stuff, what you have seen in the slides. So, please connect us if you have, along with this taxation what we discussed. If you need any type of like a software implementation, you can tag to our team. We are happy to help. Thank you very much. Sandosh. Thank you.
Thank you.